Welcome to the Isle Chat podcast with me, Beth,
Josh,
and Ryan.
This podcast is all about exploring the big questions, the small moments, and everything in between.
Whether you're stuck at the shops, in traffic, or just looking for some inspiration, our chat is here to keep you engaged.
It's time to talk, connect, and find meaning in those everyday moments.
Welcome to the Isle Chat.
The Coke advert came on the telly the other day.
Shut up.
No, it is. It's on the telly.
Recording? Why do we always do that every time?
Fifth
like
week.
We've got to check.
Fifth week in and Ryan's still doing the same old script. But yeah, Coke advert was on the other day. Made me feel like Christmas has started.
I didn't know they put it out that early.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Because it's just like...
I heard the John Lewis advert out and it's meant to be poor.
Oh, I haven't. Why did everyone go on about the John Lewis
I haven't
advert?
seen
Like,
John
Because
Lewis one.
that one year when they did the alright one, I don't know if it was Ellie Goulding or Lily Allen or one of them anyway.
It was Ellie Goulding.
And it made like a bit of a big deal and then all of a sudden all companies thought that they had to make a Christmas advert.
the little one?
Like-
Oh, the
No,
Aldi one's good.
Aldi one's
Amazon?
good with the carrots normally.
Oh, no, actually...
No, it's Amazon. It's got the Beatles.
No, the Amazon, the women going down the hill on the sleighs.
Oh, I don't know, but it's got the
It's
Beatles
Amazon.
soundtrack.
Yeah, it must be, yeah.
The new song.
No.
But
When
when...
you say the Beatles, do you mean
What
the
do you mean,
Liverpool
new
Beatles?
song?
yeah, doesn't know what the Beatles
Well, the
don't
Beatles have released a new song. Are you telling me you haven't
know.
heard this song?
No?
A song called Now and Then.
There's a new song.
No. I thought you were like winding me up then.
So, no, without going into like technical bits, they were
AI, is
able
it?
to...
AI?
Yeah, well, kind of. So they were able to take some demo recordings of John Lennon from like the 60s and they've got this new technology that they didn't have then that they can basically pull his voice off the tape track. But the reason why they didn't do it back then is because it was just, I think it was Yoko recorded in their house and in the background there's like a telly, something else, and they couldn't separate all the stuff with the technology they had then because it was getting too much interference. But obviously we live in 2023, a very AI incorporated
Dominated world.
and they've lifted his voice and the other Beatles have like basically
Agreed.
recorded some of the music over the last few years.
Says that.
There's a documentary, not to plug like Disney, shout out Disney, but there's a documentary on the Disney Channel about how they made it. And it's
Well, I didn't
a song
know that.
called Now and Then, and I personally love it. It was actually a song that I used for the soundtrack of my last week's reel from my wedding of the week, which we'll get to.
Go and check it out on Rolling Stop's account, Instagram account. When does it feel like Christmas for you?
Oh, I feel like as soon as it's the 1st of November.
1st of November?
As soon as Halloween's done. I feel like the more the years go on, the sooner Christmas
It's
is
creeping in.
acceptable.
I think when you have kids, that's when it
People look
starts
up
to
the trees
creep
up and
in.
everything now, haven't
Yeah. We go down the road and you see people's like lights.
I'm desperate to put our tree up.
Oh yeah. Haven't you been talking about the last 2 days that you got a
Yeah, we did. We bought a third one.
tree? Someone's posh. Hey, you can tell someone lives in Highton, can't you? 3 trees.
It's for the office space because we think...
Oh, you didn't even need it for the house, just do it in the office.
No,
It's
but-
only one
It's only an
foot.
8-footer.
It's
Got it
only
shipped
1
in
foot
from
fibre optic.
Scandinavia. It's a little one.
No, because for us, you spend the majority of the time in the office working and we think, why not make it Christmassy? Would you not agree, Matty?
Well, I'm actually going to get involved then. I'm moving offices and I'm going to buy a Christmas tree because
Yeah.
I move in like the 4th of December. And I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to get a Christmas tree. I'm going to decorate it a little bit.
A real one or a fake one?
Oh no, I'll get a fake one. I'm not
Yeah, he
dealing
needs to
with the real one.
reuse it every year, doesn't he? Like us.
But I've got
I
nowhere to
thought you
store it.
sounded
though,
like
so-
a real.
No.
You strike me as a real couple.
A real... Oh, yes, yeah.
Real tree couple.
I thought you meant
Let's
like...
just, get that right.
Yeah.
Because they are actually, I don't know if you know this, but they are actually a real couple in real life.
Yeah, the
Josh and Beth.
first 4 episodes are all about me proposing to Beth.
Yeah.
So,
Well, or nearly it was the other way round.
so you want to jump into the weekly
No,
weddings?
I want to talk about Christmas again. Because
Okay.
You didn't ask. Because I've never felt more Christmassy in my life than I do at this present moment in time. For multiple reasons, I actually just felt this way about 2 weeks ago. Just all of a sudden, whatever that feel of what the Christmas spirit feels like, it was like running through my veins.
I need a cup of that.
Oh,
give us a drink of that.
It was so peculiar. And I don't normally feel like this. And obviously kids inject Christmas into it a little bit when they come on the scene, which they have done. But for some reason, I just felt even more Christmassy. And obviously, this is leading me quite nicely on. This was a little bit earlier than I planned to do this. But I said to you, didn't I, that I was in the Tesco the other week and they took the Halloween aisle down and replaced it with a Christmas one. The next time I went in after that, which is probably later that day, because I basically live in Tesco. Tesco shout out. Some club card points, mate. But while I was there, I seen these things and I thought, I know we'll like them. And I got a very, very, probably the earliest Christmas gift I've ever bought in my life.
Oh my
and I
God.
bought it. for me two compadres over there, and I'm just going to get it out.
We're getting an early Christmas gift now in his Santa sack.
Yeah.
Let's just show you. So you're in Bootle sack.
So I don't want to give the second part away, but the first part.
No way,
I
lads.
obviously seen it and just told you directly.
I can see it. It looks a beast. I think Matty's going to be jealous of this.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Harry Potter robe.
I am going to wear it for the next part.
Don't
Come on.
wear it for the next, because it'll be way too warm. It's like a fake hoodie, isn't it? It's like Tesco's own
We
hoodie.
actually seen one of them, but a Grinch version the other day, and
Yeah.
you were like, I really want that. And I was like, but you're not the Grinch, so you can't have it.
Lads.
If you don't know by now, Josh is the world's biggest Harry Potter fan, I think it's safe to say.
I
Only
wouldn't-
today he was showing me slices of film reel that he's got on his window ledge, which, you know, mingy. But like, I got you this anyway.
Thank you so
I'm gonna
much.
give it
That
to
is
him. You're gonna
amazing.
That's a beast.
Thank
I'm not
you
tracking you,
s-
but I'll send it across.
Thank you so much.
I love that.
I cannot wait to wear it.
Put it on.
And I've got to put it on, haven't I?
Yeah, put it on.
Don't put it on. You'll be roasted.
Just
but that-
you can put it on and then
But-
maybe take it off in a bit.
I don't know what you're laughing at, because, as I say, because they're a couple, I couldn't get one without the other. And they didn't have no other. I don't even know what you're into. Harry
Not
Potter.
really, bored.
Not on. Josh is what you're into.
Just
But I
loves.
thought, I can't leave him here out if he's sitting here all snug and warm on a winter's eve. So, not far away from said Harry Potter
Oh, amazing.
was this what do you call it?
Tartan.
Tartan
Bring it
number.
over here.
And I got that for Beth.
These are
What a nice guy Ryan is.
honesty.
Well, I've kind of found myself. Obviously, we've noticed this the last few weeks. I found myself being bringing stuff to the show. Obviously, I brought the water. I brought laughter a couple of times.
He's a charity man, isn't he?
But no, I really felt it, and I thought they'll love them.
No,
and
I
I thought
am.
with season getting colder and Christmas creeping
Beth.
in,
Beth, you look a beast.
and with a certain trip that was booked within the last few days to a certain place, which I will not mention, it rhymes with Genta Starks. We're all going as a little family, aren't we? So I thought I'd buy you them.
I think we
Yeah,
need to be-
it feels like Christmas now. I think
No,
we
but
should
Beth,
go
you were
in.
only saying before you were cold.
There we go.
You happy days?
You must have read me mind.
you've got what you wanted now.
This is amazing.
Thank you
actually.
so
I know,
much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Literally.
Do not spend the rest of the show in them, by the way.
I'm
No,
going home
I-
and putting the Christmas tree up.
No,
One of them.
It's a very Christmassy number, that, though, as well, isn't it?
I
That
know,
is
look
I
very-
love that.
You look like a young, fetching Mrs. Claus.
Do I?
Hey.
You heard it from Ryan. So I'll take this-
wait.
Go on.
It doesn't end there,
Oh.
because I was thinking to myself, I can't get you one, can't get Beth one. And then, like, I'm just sitting here, and obviously there's another person who sits over there who produces the show for us, producer Matty. And I thought, with Effie's christening being at the weekend, and we got a lovely Christmas cake made by Delicious by Lynn's. Well, yeah, let's just say, I think Delicious
Big
by
Christmas cake.
Lindsay Liverpool, who made our cakes, who I've met at a few wedding fairs, and she made the cake for Effie. Only brought some of the cake here for us.
This doesn't even feel like a podcast anymore. I just feel like I'm on your
so far, has it?
feel like I'm on your couch.
Obviously, I've brought a selection of slices. They're all cut very finely, because she told us how to cut it to get the most out of it. And Matty, you can eat some. Josh, you can eat some. Beth, you can eat some.
I'll have the
And
biggest slice.
And I'm going to eat some. I've already had about 9 pieces, by the way, so thanks, Lindsay, for, like, destroying my diet over the last few weeks, boss.
Thanks, Lindsay, for this.
Thanks, Lindsay.
The calories.
Thank you. Are we getting some? No?
Yeah,
Yeah. Let Ryan and pass them round. So, on that note, I'm feeling very Christmassy.
Put the Christmas music on. Do you want me to sing?
Okay, sounds. Who you on?
Josh is going to do all the talking anyway. Oh!
Take
Go on,
pass.
have a little break. We'll have a little break.
Have a little break. Cut this bit. Oh, actually, you know what? Matty, I've got one for you. I seen on your stories you started watching Christmas films.
Did you?
No.
Maybe I'm...
Sorry, I'm meeting you guys.
No, we there. Who have I seen them watching? Wait there. What
Not
did
me.
you put on your story the other day? Watching a film?
No,
Lad, you did, you know.
I didn't. I was watching Friends in the office.
That was it. The Friends
Yeah.
thing was like, who's been watching Friends? No,
Yeah, that was me with the dog yesterday.
Like, that was...
It's
That was
just-
I don't have a child here, guys, by the way. I've got a dog.
well, same thing.
Same thing.
But I was...
Less hassle, probably.
Josh
was-
gets annoyed when I refer to Bailey as my son.
No, it's not that. When Jude was first born and me and Matty were doing weddings together and me and Beth were up all night doing the feed, he was like, yeah, I know what it's like, you know. Bailey's been getting me and Lucy over
These
the middle of
dog
the night.
parents, I swear to God, you haven't got a clue.
Woo, 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 woo,
You
woo,
got a
woo.
stutter. You got a stutter. Sorry, no offense to any stutterers.
Right.
Shout out to all the stutterers.
The weekly weddings. Ryan, tell us about your weekly weddings.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
Oh, have I got one of the other for this?
Go on then.
So, I only had one wedding this week. One. But what I want to have. I think I told you as we were talking throughout the day, because you had one as well, which I'm sure you'll talk about in a sec. I would go as far as to say, and I said this to the couple, and I think they just thought, you probably say that to everyone, which I can understand why. It was probably, no offence to everybody else, one of my, if not the most enjoyable wedding of the year so far.
Wow.
Bold.
Swear to God.
Bold
And I
statement,
mean,
that.
as I say that in the nicest possible way with everybody else, feelings considered, because I do have a lovely time. But this one, it wasn't necessarily about the couple or about where it was or anything like that, even though it was lovely. The whole day slotted into place like the easiest it's ever slot. Like,
Nice.
No
I'll continue on
intended.
that. No, like, I mean, it was just boss, like, from the start, everything just lined up. Like, even from just getting there, like, I got a car park space in the centre of town immediately.
There's no better feeling than
I had
pulling
the
up to-
change in my car. I didn't have to run to a shop or nothing to get it. It was all just rolling beautifully the
Yeah.
whole day. But Mary and Dan was the couple. Shout out Mary and Dan. You already had your teasers. You might have seen it on my Instagram as well if you follow that. Beth doesn't, because she didn't see the Beatles song.
I did actually see it, and I liked the post. I just didn't put the
Didn't
volume
recognise. All right, light it off. But I was accompanied by our friend Rich Byrne.
He's a
He
legend,
was
Rich.
second shooting for me on the day, so there was two of us. And yeah, just one of the best days that I can remember. Brothers in Red to start. I've never been in there before. It was boss in there.
What a boss location that's in, by the way. I've never
is
shot in there
great.
before, but
I think it used to be student halls.
Yeah, it's a good
And
thing that it's not
inside,
anymore.
it's just
Where's this?
Brothers in Red on Lime Street.
Right by the Empire.
Yeah,
Theatre.
is that
directly
where they got
opposite St
ready,
George's
yeah.
Hall.
Yeah.
They got ready there, well,
Yeah.
the bride did. And yeah, it was just a dead photogenic place inside, like the colours and everything just made your camera understand easier, like the colour of the room and everything. The white balance, if you want to get technical, just was like flying. The colours were beautiful. And then we went from there to St George's Hall, which obviously we know, we go all the time, great place. Even all of that, even the group shots flowed dead easy, because I had, even though there was about 100 group shots, I had Rich conducting like who was coming next, and I was just shooting.
Oh, you've been replaced, Beth.
know.
Little get
I
out
know.
of
You know
jail
what?
card there
Rich
for
is
me. I
coming
would
for
never
me,
replace
Joe.
you, Beth. And then on to Oh Me Oh My in the night time. But in between Oh Me Oh My, St George's and Oh Me Oh My, we went on a few little spots around town, and every spot was just worked in our favour. Like, just great. Just
Yeah.
a really great day. And the couple at the boss time and at Oh Me Oh My is obviously Oh Me Oh My, as we know.
Would it have
Liverpool.
been
Shout out
better?
to Oh Me Oh My.
Would it have been better if me and Beth were shooting as well?
I
Like-
said that. I did say that to you because we did have to pretend that you didn't have the conversation, because we did. I said the only thing that was missing was used to. From it being the best day of the entire year. Bold statement, I know, but true.
Well, we love all of our weddings that we do every week.
Follow that up.
We don't like to say who's our favourites and stuff like that.
I didn't
but
say they were my favourite couple. I said it was my favourite day because
Okay.
it flowed.
say no more on that.
We know what you meant.
We know what you meant, yeah. So our weekly wedding was at Cole Shore, and same day as yours, which was a Saturday.
Shout out culture.
Beth getting in there before you.
That what that
I'm
feels
coming
like.
for your job.
I know, yeah.
Jasmine and Josh, literally, they were about, how old were they? They were a young couple, weren't they?
Yeah.
Not that age plays anything on a wedding day, but you could see they were like, childhood sweethearts. Such a, laid back couple. Like, just similar to us in a way, weren't they? I could see myself being like them on their wedding day.
Except they're married and we're not.
There's not much more I can add to that,
And the
is there?
room goes silent.
But yeah, the day was perfect. The weather was great. It was, even though we're getting closer to the winter season now, it was still very autumny, like very orangey, the
It
colours.
was a lovely day, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was.
That was another reason why I thought my day was boss, not to go back on it, but the weather was perfect out of the back of a really bad rainy week.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
It was perfect.
Can I just add to the weather is perfect? Do we want to tell Ryan and Matty why the weather was perfect?
Oh, yes, okay, perfect. Go on, do you want to tell you?
So there's this ritual. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Right.
That apparently,
You're not about to tell me something that we... Go on.
if you bury a sausage
Oh,
the night before your wedding,
no innuendos there.
it's going to be sunny the next
Yeah,
day.
and it's happened. The few weddings that we've done recently in the past few months, even they've buried the sausage. I don't think it matters what sausage you bury. This is a TikTok trend. This thing, by the way, it's been on another wedding podcast, I think, and it's just being picked up now by brides. But I'm not messing. Every single bride that we've had who's went to us, look at the weather, it's gorgeous, isn't it? And we went, yeah, we buried the sausage.
But there's a couple of walls last night.
And I'm like, do the venue know you've buried the sausage? And like, no, don't worry
Does it
about
have
them.
to be on the venue grounds? Because I've only ever heard of it when they've stayed over at the venue.
Yeah, I
and
thought
they've
that.
obviously went, and when there it is, that's where we
Peckforton
buried it.
Castle, sorry, there's a sausage buried at your place. And Coles, your hall. Anyone else?
I'm sure every venue knows that some sausages
I
do
feel
get
like we've
buried on
heard
wedding
it.
evenings. Let's just leave it there. Hey.
Yeah, and you know the day was perfect. I had loads of little nice turns to it, but one of the turns that we've not really spoke about yet on the podcast, which if you are getting married and you're thinking about getting this sort of supplier at your day, is singing waiters. So singing waiters for me, I think they're just brilliant. They literally get the party started from the get go. As soon as they start performing, everyone, so people you don't expect to be dancing are dancing really. But one of the surprising ones for me, who was dancing, was Ian, the Toastmaster. The Toastmaster Ian, who basically runs the show at
Shout out to
Coleshaw.
Ian, the Toastmaster.
He's great. Literally love working with him. In the corner of my eye, I'm just capturing everyone dancing, having the best time ever. I just turn around and he is literally throwing shapes with I think it was the groom's auntie, and he's literally throwing it into all these mad shapes. She's going with it. By the way, that was the chair, that wasn't me. Throwing all shapes at her. And I went over to him and was like, Ian, didn't know you had the moves. And he was like, well, there's a lot of things you don't know about me. I was
It
like,
is true though, the singing waiters seem to be able to get everyone up off the seats. Like, I remember at one point I was looking and everyone was like congregated in like the dance floor area dancing, and I just turned around and behind me was like Nan and Grandad, and they were just dancing together,
lovely,
and
that.
it was just such a gorgeous moment to capture. And I feel like they might not get up when the first dance happens.
No, you're right. Well, they probably won't.
Yeah, and I
Because
just
it's
feel like
a
singing
lot
waiters get
goes on
them.
in the first
Yeah.
dance time, doesn't it?
well, they can get just pushed to the side a little bit sometimes, and there's like everyone just going a little bit crazy. But as you say, you do see them sort of moments when
People
singing
tend to like
waiters.
dance in the seats, don't they?
Yeah.
Singing waiter moments rather than like congregating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was just perfect. And then in the night time, we had Andy Murphy. Shout out to Andy, who said he listened to the podcast, and obviously he's a great DJ. He's literally like one of the top ones for me in the wedding industry for DJs.
Premium.
I think he is. I think when you think of wedding DJs, he's one of them names that has always come to my front fold. Yeah, I think he's perfect. And obviously, I said to him, "You're going to come on the podcast," and he went, "If you will have me." So he's another one in the future, maybe to get on.
You know, watch this space.
Yeah. So on the day, the singing waiter, when you see someone you think you know, that's that sort of moment
Every
where
day.
that's that sort of moment when you're walking in somewhere and someone goes, "Oh, all right," and you go, "Oh, "Come here, you're okay," and they're like, "You won the award the other night," and I was just like, nah,
Caught
mate.
off guard.
I was like, "No, that weren't me." That, and he was like, "It was you."
I
was
would have just went, oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I
Here it
was
is.
close.
Here it is.
I was close to saying, "Well, yeah, I was just another one's the bag," but
Yeah.
no, I was like, "No."
Don't even keep track of them
that's me.
anymore, these awards.
But yeah, that was all I wanted to add to the
That in there. Josh's world.
Josh's well.
So we've been thinking that maybe we should do a topic of the week each week, and obviously every week it'll change. Maybe we can ask people what kind of topics they want us to talk about. So this week we thought maybe we could talk about gifts.
Gifts.
Now this is quite a
Like the gifts we've just
wide-
received from Ryan today.
Yeah.
You're
So
welcome.
we can talk about gifts that the bride and groom give each other in the morning, bridal party gifts, bouquet gifts to the parents in the speeches, the gift table from your guests, all things gifts. Some more might
Gifts.
come to me, but
I just want to jump straight in and say to Ryan, because I actually had this conversation not long ago with Ryan about his gift for his wife at his own wedding. I think you did set the bar a little bit high for everyone
I
else.
set it too high for myself.
Each year now, she's just like...
Because after we went, which obviously we'll get to in a sec, because obviously I'm going to tell everyone now. But like after we went, Becky's opinion was, how can we ever go anywhere ordinary again with going somewhere so tropical?
So basically, when Ryan got married, he just had to go above and beyond, considering he works in weddings, he sees what people buy gifts and stuff, and he thought, what can I do that will beat everyone else for wedding gifts? Actually, do you know what?
Wait.
I'll just give you the flight to the Maldives for like 10 days, whatever it was.
Yeah, 10 days in the Maldives it was.
That's like something on that index Saturday night takeaway.
know.
You just won a trip to the Maldives.
I'll tell you something about this Maldives thing and what you've just said there about like trying to think about presents and stuff. Me nor Becky are materialistic people at all, so I couldn't give her something of presents that would like hold its value, if that makes sense, from a memory point of view. And in the past, for a 30th, I got her this like necklace, which we nearly lost at a little spa retreat earlier.
We won't go into that.
Which we won't go into, that I had to drive 2.5 hours for to retrieve. But she's already got that. She's already obviously got her rings. So there's all her like jewellery pieces. She's got watches. I bought her an Apple Watch earlier this year again. So she's got everything that I could get her from that like sentimental point of view. So the only other thing I could think about for sentimental was memories, which is where we come in normally, isn't it? For other people's memories captured.
Yeah.
But the only memories that we could make was on a trip somewhere. And at the time of the year where we wanted to go, I thought, where is the best, warmest place? And Maldives just pricked up one time, and I thought...
I can remember him booking it as well, because he was on the phone to me being like, what do you reckon? Was I on the phone with you? Was I doing...
We were going to a wedding.
Was
and
we?
he phoned you about it.
No way.
Because you were telling me, and then you phoned him. And you were like, listen, I'm thinking about doing it. And you were going, just do it.
I am a yes man.
Once I'd seen it, I couldn't unsee it. It was one of those types of things. Like, I was looking at other places, and I thought, I can't
There's nothing else
not go there
top
now.
that, is there?
What I will say, right, is looking back, even though it was very expensive, and I'll use that very expensive term again, I've tried to look at rebooking the same place, same time, maybe a little bit later, but like around about the same area. Every time I look at it now, it's almost double the amount that I paid for it. So I don't know what it was about that time, but it must have just been written in the stars for me to book that there and then.
Meant.
And we went, and what a place.
Was that the honeymoon?
Kind of. So, well, yeah, I'm going to say yeah, because we did go to Ibiza shortly after we got married as like a family moon, like a mini moon, I think people call it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like luxury for us, because we've got a place where you had like a swimming pool in your room and all that type of stuff. So I felt like that was luxury, and it was boss holiday. But then that came along and just blew that out the water, to be fair. So that was the official honeymoon.
That is an amazing gift.
Not bad, that is it.
It is amazing. So I feel like quite a lot of the time in the mornings, when obviously the bride and the groom receive the gifts off one another, they always know what they're getting because they've asked for it.
A lot of the time,
and
yeah.
I just think, isn't that pointless?
Yeah, I've noticed it before when like the lads are opening the watch in the morning and they're like, yeah, I picked this watch.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think to myself, like, if I seen a watch that I like and I thought you're gonna buy me a gift in the morning, I'd rather say to you,
What
like,
it was.
would you pick that watch for me?
I know what you're saying, but then I think, well, I'd rather you just get it and then not do gifts, or I'll get you something else of less value.
Do you know what I've actually thought then? I've never seen like, and this is just random from the top of my head, when you mentioned buying Becky an Apple Watch, I just thought, I've never seen a bride wear an Apple Watch on a wedding day. Can you imagine?
I don't think
They're not
brides
really
tend to wear
trendy,
watches
are they?
full stop on a wedding day, do they?
True,
It
yeah.
doesn't go with
Some
the
brides
rest of the
do.
jewellery.
Some brides do.
I have seen brides do it, but no, you are right.
And then obviously I was thinking about gifts as well, when I was talking about the topic of the week being gifts. And me and Ryan did a wedding last year where the bride bought a puppy for the groom.
Oh my
Oh,
God, yeah.
yeah.
Hope Street Hotel, and obviously we took him around the corner. He had no clue at all, and obviously was presented with a puppy. Now that is a lifetime
But the puppy
gift.
weren't there, was it? It was. Was the puppy
Oh,
there?
yeah.
Was it a
No,
photo?
No, yeah. No,
Was the puppy
puppy
there?
there.
The puppy wasn't there.
It was a photo, innit?
Yeah, it was a photo of the
Right.
way that it was revealed that it was a photo of said puppy. That was already bought, but it wasn't available to come to their house yet because it was that small of a puppy.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself then, what was it? What we would, whether the puppy was there or not, but obviously it wasn't. But yeah, that's a gift and a half. I think to myself, like, I wouldn't know how to react at that point. Seeing a puppy, you know, even though it's not there in physical form, just seeing like someone's went to that effort and bought you something that's going to be obviously a part of the family, not just like, you know, I know everyone gets jewellery and stuff, that's a common gift. But
For me, from that point of view, obviously, because as we just found out, I've got a dog.
yeah.
In my head, I'd be like, I couldn't concentrate on the rest of the day.
Cancel the wedding and go into the dog.
There's a dog there, yeah, you know what I mean?
I think they'd spoken about it, didn't they, or something up until this point?
They must have. You couldn't just. They must have known.
I think they'd
that they
spoken
were,
about having a dog.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those maybe in the new year or maybe type of thing. And she went and did it, didn't he? Shout out Kerry and Mike, by the way.
I know, at Hope Street. Not shout out to Hope Street. Wonder
Street
how
as
the
well,
dog's
yeah.
getting on.
I know.
Sleepless nights, who knows? Another like, when on the morning I always think of gifts, and gifts is like something that doesn't have to happen at every wedding. So if anyone is getting married who's listening thinking, oh my God, you've just made me feel like I've got to get gifts. Some people Like I've been to how many weddings you go to where there's no gifts at all? I think it's just
and loads, and I think like you spend so much money anyway. Gifts aren't really necessary, and sometimes you get these gifts, you make all the effort to have them all in lovely little personalised bags, and then you don't even have the time to open them.
Yeah,
as well, because the morning just runs away with you.
Well, I was thinking of like gifts as well. We've seen to the extreme, obviously the Maldives being one of them, seen that one. I'm Ryan had to beat everyone else. But we have seen the one where Cara and Mike at Peckford, and where it was like past the parcel. I'm not messing, every half an hour, their son was coming up to the room with another gift for her and to open. So it was like, if we're disrupting the morning, but it was one of those things where it was like, Mum, you need to read this card and open this, and I'll be back in half an hour. And that went on. Fair.
And she got like the whole,
Yeah.
she got like the whole Dyson collection, didn't she?
Yeah.
She got like the straighteners, the air wrap, the hairdryer. Shout out Dyson.
Little plug for
She
Dyson.
got it all.
I thought when you said Dyson, I thought she got a Hoover. So that's a bit sexist, isn't it?
That's a funny way of putting
So
it.
you're out for the rest of the year there, girl. Do the stairs with that.
But yeah, it's nice when you are thoughtful, and I always feel like from a lad's point of view, you know, would I expect a gift in the morning? Because I'm only thinking from my point of view on the day of a wedding, and I
would
don't.
you?
Well, I wouldn't, you know, because I wouldn't. Oh, I'd be careful what I say, don't I? Because don't give too
I
much
mean, the
away. when I'm-
Maldives would be lovely, like, wouldn't it? But
I can't be giving me like, you know, me secrets away what I might potentially buy Beth if we were ever getting married. And obviously,
It's about this sentence. You can't use if ever. You've got to use when, do. Okay.
well, you know, it's
or I do.
that's a statement and a half.
Right. Anyway.
But yeah, like.
I think the thing with gifts is, like you said, like the gift that you're giving to each other is the commitment for the rest of your lives. So that's a massive gift in itself.
Stop it, Ryan! You're killing me off.
Yeah, all sentimental there, but that is true. So I have seen when people don't get gifts, and that is their gift to each other, because it doesn't have to be. Not that it is for anyone, but it's like not a flash show, is it? You don't have to, because the sentiment and the memories are what you're giving to each other. Really.
Yeah. No, it is. But then going like the opposite way now, as a guest, what would you buy the couple? Because I always feel like, do you ask the couple, do you say to the couple, like, what do you want me to buy you?
I can say, before we go into your answers to this, because I feel like you've asked us, I'm normally quite a crap gift giver.
Excuse
You're
me.
definitely not after
Wait,
them.
I've seen the gifts.
That's different. I mean, for like occasions. So
Yeah.
like, especially for weddings, I think with the group of friends that I'm in, all the weddings that we've been to through our little other ones, I'm quite a monetary gift person at a wedding gift, because I feel like it goes the furthest. Because I think way back when, in like, what's it they used to do? They used to have like wedding lists, didn't they, where you buy like a toaster and a fridge.
Seriously?
I think it was like
Yeah.
an American thing, but that's like
Back when you were like,
no,
going on.
yeah, nice
It
one.
was a register, isn't it? You had to buy stuff off the register.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
people still do it. I haven't seen it for a while because
But
we're a bit more modern.
They do it in shops like America. I've seen on shows they do like Barney's. Is that a thing in New York?
Yeah.
Something like,
Like
that.
a
in
wish
Macy's.
list of like of Barney.
So that
yeah.
when they start the marriage or the married life,
When
you
you
wouldn't
buy-
have to buy all stuff like that.
It is a really good idea. I just feel like it'd be cheeky, mate.
It is cheeky. I think it is cheeky. That's why I would never do it myself. But I mean, it's a custom over there, so it's not cheeky. It's just expected.
Like Range Rover, Rolex.
Depends who you are, I suppose.
Yeah, no, but
no, yeah.
It's mad because I'm like, I know what you're saying that it's cheeky, but I'm like, I don't think it's because people do
Well, it's
wish
not.
lists for like baby showers
Yeah,
and stuff, and then you
exactly.
think, is that only
the
acceptable?
exact same.
It's just the same.
well, it's. I'm going to debate this now because I don't think it is, because with
Let's
a baby,
put a poll on.
Let's put a poll out there. Yeah, with a baby shower, that is specifically for the baby and not what the baby needs. When you've got married, them gifts, it's not like you need those gifts.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like it is, because with.
I'm like literally on both sides here, but then I just think, but if I was getting a couple a gift, I would want to get them something that
They
they
want,
actually
they
want
would use,
or
yeah.
they use.
Yeah, but
So-
then what in terms of gifts would someone buy someone that you're gonna like go, don't really like that? I think everyone would. I think. Well, I'm only saying this because this is what I got someone, and I got, you know, Jane Kirsty. Both of us got them like a personalised bottle of Lauren Perrier, and I think that.
but that's a custom to them because that's what they like.
But I mean, I think everyone should just go to. I think it's just, is that a British thing? Just buying a bottle of champagne for someone? Because I feel like it is, isn't it? I feel like have you
I
done
think
like a.
rather than buying someone another bottle of fizz, which I'm sure they'll get about 20 for the wedding
Shout out
gift.
Lauren Perrier, by the way. If you want to sponsor
You
us,
could buy
please do.
them a set of bath towels if that's what they put on the wish list. Like if that's
Can you
what they
imagine
wanted.
turning up to someone's wedding? Just, I love, just put them bath towels behind
Do you know what the
the
funny part is, right?
behind the
Is
desk.
obviously when you go to our weddings, obviously in America, everything's all over the top, isn't it? Or seems to be from what you see on the telly. Like, and they have these like proper areas or rooms where they store the gifts. Most of the time when you go to our weddings in the UK, it's a table. No different to this.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to put all of those like toasters and all that on that table and flaps.
The legs like that. I
Like,
can't do it.
Can't take any more towels.
Recently, on one of those gift tables at a wedding, we seen a little sign, and I thought, oh, what does that say? Obviously, just having a little look, and it said on it, I'm trying to word it correctly. It basically said that we appreciate your presence at the wedding. We don't really want gifts or anything from yourselves, but if you would like to donate money to buy us a drink on our honeymoon, scan the QR code and
Great
it will
idea.
give you our bank details. So then, obviously, you scan the QR code and send money. It sends directly to their bank so they can buy themselves a drink on their honeymoon.
I think that's that's a really good idea, but at the same time is for the people who are maybe, to come to Christmas, might feel a bit of pressure. Would you feel like when you're entering the amount, it's like one of them things when you have to when you're in a restaurant and it comes up like gratitude on like on the
And you enter
machine,
what you want to
and they
give.
go like, just the first part, just for the tip part, and you're sat there going, like, what do I do? Do I like
Cancel.
Yeah, it is that sort of feeling. So when you see
That's what I mean, by the way, I'm not a stinge. I always...
Bootle. And when you when you see that like that QR code and if you see people going over to that table scanning it going, yeah, I'm gonna send them however much, and then you're the person behind them being like, well, what do I send them now because I can't afford that.
But then you give what you can give, don't you?
Give
That's
what
how
you
it
can
should
give.
be.
And I don't think they're
like,
doing it from an expectation point of view. At the
Yeah.
same time, I think it's very clever because when people are a little bit drunk, shall we say, later on in the night, and going, you know what, I'm going to give them an extra £100. Like, it's clever, I
yeah,
think.
be like, don't buy me a drink tonight at the bar. Buy me one on my honeymoon. Yeah, scan that.
Next time I see one of them, I'm going to change it and put my details in.
That's called fraud. With gifts, sometimes grooms will purchase underwear for the partner,
Seen that.
and obviously the brides will do a boudoir shoot, which is a gift essentially, isn't it? Really, it's obviously something that they're gifting to the partner to see their reaction. And obviously, it's lately. In the first few years of doing weddings, I never ever come across it, never ever heard of it, and then only recently at weddings I've started to see it more. And I do think it's a preference thing. So anyone who's getting married, who's listening to this, might be like, "Oh my god, what the hell are they going on about?" It's not. I'm not advising it to you. I'm just saying these sorts of things do happen, and we've experienced them, haven't we?
It could be that someone really wants to do it for the partner, but it is a bit of a taboo subject and think, oh, is like, do people do that? Is that normal? So I think it's nice for people to know that it actually
very
does
normal.
happen, and
Yeah,
it's very common. And if that's something that you want to do, then go for it.
It's definitely a preference thing, though. I don't think it's not, and that's not me like saying. I'll give you my opinion on it. I wouldn't want you to do it if I'm honest with you, and I think that's
Thank
just
God
because
for
of no pressure. But no, it's something that I just feel like it's a private matter. In my opinion, that's my opinion, though. And I think
it is,
some brides who. I'm talking about boudoir shoots, by the way, because I think the underwear one is like, that can be a little bit of you can do that behind closed doors, you can do it on the gift in the morning, do you know what I mean? It's still a gift at the end of the day, and we've witnessed it, haven't we, at weddings where, and I think this is a funny story really, where this is a tip from Josh to all the grooms out there who may be purchasing bridal underwear. I don't know why I think I'm like the expert in bridal underwear, but just because I've seen it before, and hands off to the bride, she was hysterical with it. We were all at the wedding together, so you might have a like inkling where I'm going with it. Just purchase white underwear. That's a given, because if you purchase the wrong colour, it just might not go with the white wedding
But
dress.
also, don't expect the bride to be wearing them, because, most of these brides are wearing Spanx and keeping everything tucked in, and they can't go to the toilet all day.
Now, to be fair, I think it's one of those things where, and I said this to a groom, funny enough, because sometimes, the bride will purchase, groom underwear as well, where it's like boxes and it has like property of whatever the bride's name is. And he was like, oh, should I change? And I give him another tip. I said, the best thing you can do really is don't wear them. And when you go back to the room, like, this is not like me trying to, break the fourth wall or anything. But, when you get a shower later on, put them on after your shower. Because then they'll be fresh. And then if she wants to see them, at least you don't.
Around them all night.
At least you don't
Do you want me to take
stink.
these off? Yeah. Oh my god.
But yeah, that was always going to be like a bit of a a topic to talk about when it comes to gifts, and it can make people's toes curl, but then some people can see the funny side and just be like, you know what, it's a laugh. And I think brides love seeing the groom's reaction when he's opening the boudoir suit, and we've had the, I was the pleasure, but we've had the opportunity to capture seeing the groom's face open it, and from my experience, the groom was just like rabbit in headlights.
Yeah.
It was.
I think the boss thing about it is, and this will always go down well, is it's always probably very unexpected. Like we said before about other gifts that you can get, like watches and things like that, sentimental value. That's probably one thing that no one's really ever expecting. So the reaction, which is what it's all about for us, is the best part.
Yeah.
How many years have you and Becky been married?
It's one.
One.
One and a bit.
Obviously, just asking you, but did you, for your first anniversary, do like those traditional... What's the first one?
Paper,
the
is
first one
it?
paper? Is that still a thing? Do people still do that?
I don't know. What are you meant to do for it?
I think
I
it
don't
is
think
paper.
you can call it, but I
there's
mean,
like
are you
different
meant to get
materials,
something?
and you're supposed to buy something with that material.
I mean, if that's the case, maybe Becky's done this without me even realising, but she got me a bit of a scrap album, if you like, with our first year married for like our 1 year anniversary. And it was probably one of the best, I say this to her, one of the best gifts she's ever gotten me in my life, because it wasn't just wedding stuff. It was like the trips that we went on, and obviously I said before, we went to Ibiza for the mini moon, and we went to Maldives, but we also went on a couple of other trips in between. Ibiza again. God, sounds like I lived there. Wish I did.
How thoughtful of Becky to... I think
brilliant.
Thoughtful gifts are, for me, my like... I'm same as you, Ryan, when it comes to like gifts. I'm not one of them people who wants like materialistic, you know, even though I've said, you know, I would love a Rolex.
Says with his Hugo Boss.
I would love a Rolex for a wedding day. I think it's a memorable gift, but I do love thoughtful gifts. And I think leading on to gifts,
oh yes,
I did want to give a little shout out to a supplier.
Ooh.
And we've actually brought a gift to basically present for our listeners and anyone who's watching really, about the bottle birds.
yeah.
So Beth can be my lovely demonstration.
Glamorous assistant there.
Glamorous assistant, yes. So this bottle is a Lauren Perrier bottle with a photograph of myself, Beth, and our little boy Jude on my brother's wedding. So it's got the date at the top.
I've seen this photograph.
I've even got the photograph just so
Show
you
the-
can see how good she actually is.
Show the photo of like basically what the before and after is. So basically that is handcrafted with obviously
So does she draw that on herself by
painted
hand?
on. Yeah.
Are we in shot? Can you see that?
You can definitely tell, yeah. That's what I was thinking. I've seen that photograph. Great.
And it's,
I've seen this bottle bird propping up loads, and obviously she follows me and I follow her, and
yeah.
I think it's a great gift. And
I-
like you said, like when we were talking about gifts before, and people do tend to get things like personalised bottles. A lot of Perrier, you can get more personalised than that.
For me, I just think that's such like a thoughtful gift as well, but also it's like something to keepsake. So if anyone's getting married who's thinking of getting a gift for the parents after the wedding, because sometimes the day can be hectic as it is, and people budgets start to become a little bit tighter, and you can't get someone a thank you gift there and then on the wedding day. Something like that after the day is just so much more meaningful and thoughtful, so that when you go into your parents' house, when they have the photo on the wall or on the fireplace or whatever, they can have such a creative gift next to it, which represents obviously the bottle of champagne, which is obviously a celebration, but also like a handcrafted, personalised.
But she doesn't just do it on bottles of champagne. She does it on whatever you want to. I've seen her do it on like bottles of spirits, wine, all kinds. But she is amazing. If people are looking for gifts, they should definitely get in touch with her. And she is at the Bottle Bird on Instagram.
So Becky, when you wake up on Christmas morning and there's a bottle there with a picture of us on it, don't be surprised.
You know why?
So we discussed this, that what we'll try and do going forward, and we have done it already a little bit, but as a section of the show, it's always good to ask questions that people send in. So obviously send as many in as you can. You need to get the most out of us and out of the guests that we have on. But this particular part is called, funny enough, question time.
So
these are
original.
the things, question time. We spent ages thinking of that name, didn't we? These are the things that people are sending to us off the back of stories or polls or whatever, and we're going to answer them for you. So what have we got, Joshy?
The first one in is from Abby's dad, and Abby was our guest last week. A little shout out to Abby.
Shout out Abby, is right, girl.
Thank you again for coming on the podcast and being our first guest. We had the best time, and obviously anyone who hasn't already listened to it, go and listen to it. It's the
Because
episode.
it's live now.
It's live now, and it's obviously the episode before this is out.
Which is funny because you're listening to this one, which will be live now, but you're listening to one that we've said that's live now last week. But
And this is from her dad, Ian, who By the way, after that podcast went out, I was kicking myself that we didn't even give him a mention.
It wasn't even after the podcast went out. It was the minute we stopped recording.
the day of.
We were like, oh my God, we completely forgot to mention Abby's dad, who was an absolute legend.
Yeah, he's a massive part of like Abby's wedding journey, I would say, in like being a wedding singer, and he's always there as like a bit of a tech fella, you know, supportive, you know. He's someone there basically who just helps it out, set up, and gives his opinion. He's a good critic. He reminds me of Sam Carr, really. At times he's got that look, but he's such a nice fella, and yeah, love when I see him at the weddings. So he sent a message in, which is, I once went around Kennedy Space Center, which I'm guessing is in America.
It is.
With no film in my camera. Has it ever happened to us?
To us?
Yes.
I think...
Dangerous.
Well, definitely no, because we don't have film cameras.
Yeah.
But I think what happens to us sometimes, and definitely happens to other people all over the place, because I was thinking about this before, is you go and you've got, I guess you'd probably put it somebody else's film in the camera. Let's just put it like that.
Storage full.
The storage, because it's all backed up onto, if you don't know this, basically in our cameras, we have memory cards in that have all of your images and films on. And sometimes, even though you've backed them up when you put them in your camera for the first time, the next time, you forget to get rid of them, so you're recording twice, kind of, aren't you?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because anyone who is obviously listening who's not like into what we do, basically like photo and film side of things, it obviously helps you right there. Yeah, so anyone who doesn't do like photo and film, you know, they might not get that part of it. They might think it's like a phone where it's like unlimited iCloud storage, where they can just keep, you know, switch your camera on and away you go. I say I haven't got a film camera myself, and we don't work with that sort of thing.
Sometimes you just do things like automated, like obviously I've like dabbled in a little bit of newborn baby photography.
Shout out.
And I'm so used to filming that when I'm taking pictures of the baby, sometimes I actually start recording, because obviously my hands are just naturally pressing the buttons.
Muscle memory, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
And
that
then I'm
sort
like, oh no, taking pictures.
Well, I was going to go back to Ryan's point. When you come to the day and you have got someone else's, you know, day on the SD card, and then you go to format it, and you're like, have I backed it up? And you're deleting everything, and you're like, oh my God.
Every creator's worst nightmare is, have I backed it up or not? And I think we all know that we have. But it's still the worst feeling in the world. Have I or haven't I? And it's not a big problem, because obviously you just record the rest of the day as you would have done, and then you just select what you wanted and realise that it's already there anyway.
There's a point that I just off the question itself, which and I know me and you've mentioned it, and obviously I think it's just an eye opener for like couples who are getting married, who have, you know, already been married, who are waiting on their like images and films, and it's just an insight to sort of like the timeline afterwards. I think talking about like, you know, what you do with your photos and film after the wedding's done. It's not just a case of, you know, oh, there's an SD card and it goes away. It takes a lot of time storing that and protecting it, and then, you know, it's a wedding order, isn't it? Like I know you mentioned that you wanted to discuss about it.
It's kind of in a nice way. It's kind of like a bit of a lovely conveyor belt, isn't it? Obviously we do multiple weddings. I wouldn't even just say across the year, across the month, across the week. Sometimes you do more than one, and the idea is that once we take all of this footage, I'll just put that category on it and put it back, you just do it in an order of time saved. Of if you've done a wedding in the 1st of August, obviously you'll do that wedding probably before the one that you've done on the 10th of August, and and the nice problem to have, I suppose, is that we do that many, that's why it takes sometimes the deadlines that we give out, which is 12 weeks for both of us, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why we give them timelines out, so that one, we're managing people's expectations, but two, so that you've got a bit of a gap between your big day and your next big day, which is when you see it all back.
And I always think, and I think you're the same as me with this sort of thing, where it's like, when it comes to editing a film, it's a little bit different to photos, and no Matty edits photos and film as well, so we can vouch for this part, but it's like, you cannot rush someone's big day.
No.
I think sometimes when people hear like 12 weeks, it might get to the 12-week point, and I rest assured anyone who is like sort of waiting on a film, just give us a couple of more days or a week or so, because it's not that you like we're just forgotten about you or anything like that. It's mainly just because
we're literally nurturing the entire process, aren't we, of like creating the best memories that we can for people. And also it's nice in a way to wait 12 weeks for your film and photos to be returned, because you've got your wedding blues and your wedding's done then, and it's nice to obviously relive it. I feel like if you were reliving it so close after your wedding,
the week after,
it wouldn't feel the same.
Was that the same for you when you were waiting for your photos and film? Did you feel that way?
A little bit, yeah.
Like,
I think you get on this wedding high, don't you? And then like there's this like wedding blues situation, isn't it? Where you do all your like wedding-y stuff. So you'd have the wedding, then you'd have the honeymoon, then you'd have the... If you did it all in one go and it's all within a space of like a month or two, it's like, that's it then, isn't it? It's gone. Whereas when there's a little bit of time elapsed, probably more than what you'd expected. Sometimes, like you said, if it's even longer than we say, which it typically never really is, it's not the worst thing in the world because you've kind of not forgotten about your day, but you've forgotten about some of the memories of that day, and then you get to relive it fresh, I guess is a nice way to put it.
Definitely. Okay, so next question.
Next question is from a good friend of mine, actually one of my best mates, to be fair, who is actually... Sorry, Ryan. He is one of my best friends. I was a groomsman at his wedding last year. I went a groomsman at your wedding, so...
Just to interrupt quickly, if people want to send in questions, we can do it anonymously as well, because obviously I know a lot of the time we reveal who the people are asking the questions, but if you want to say something, it can be anonymous. Just obviously let us know.
It's a family show. There's nothing going to be rude or inappropriate. That just has to be anonymous. But yeah,
that won't get cut out.
But Sean has put in it, which can be another funny one. What are the best and worst best men speeches you have heard?
What are the best and worst?
Yeah, I don't think we can say worst because that's a little bit harsh.
You can say worst. I think just start by worst first because
Ryan's going.
That wasn't meant to rhyme. No, I think sometimes I wouldn't say necessarily worst because I can't recall the exact words said. But I think in terms of worst, especially as a best man, the best man, so we say this all the time that when we're speaking to couples in consultations, the best man has got the hardest job because he needs to be the one that brings the comedy, brings the emotion, he needs to encase the entire day.
Yeah.
A groom obviously is typically a lot of thank yous. A dad is talking about the story of his daughter or son, depending on what the situation is. And like the groom needs to be like an envelope of everything. But we've seen sometimes where best men get up and the speech is a couple of minutes and it's literally just like, yeah, I knew him since he was like 10 and now he's not 10 and now he's getting married and yeah, see ya. That's like, that would be my idea of a worst best man speech.
I think with speeches in general, you've got to write it down. It's got to be authentic. I think a lot of the time I've noticed it, and I actually had it a few years ago where a best man come over to me and he looked really timid and shy, and I said, how you feeling? Because I'm always asking how people are feeling about like if they've got a part of the day to play the role in the day. I always ask them how they're doing, and he basically said like, oh yeah, best man speech today, feeling a little bit nervous, and I went, well, my only advice is obviously, make sure it's you telling the story. And that's all that matters. He started doing the speech and every single line was one from Google. That's not a bad thing, by the way. But I just said, after I went over to him and I was like, you told me that it was...
What happened?
I was like, what happened? And he was just like, yeah. And it's the typical line of like, where are you going? Oh, you told me you're going to the Bangalore weekend, didn't you? Yeah. It's that line that he said. And I was just like...
I think it's funny when we hear things that other people have used and they're off Google because we hear them that often.
Yeah.
But they still get the crowd going because obviously
most people have never heard them before.
They're literally roaring with laughter and we're like, we've heard this one
like,
before.
Beth, put your hand on the table.
Yeah. You put yours on top.
Put your hand on top, come on.
Last time you'll ever have the upper hand in
the relationship. But they are like house classics for me, and it's a game in my head now where if you hear that line, wherever we are in the room, we're always looking for the other one. Yeah. So when that line's said and everyone's like roaring with laughter, which is fair do, we're always like that. Looking at
you know what my tip would be for best men speeches is if there's multiple best men, I feel like you have to compare speeches because a lot of the time, say they've got 3 best men, they don't compare speeches. They all just write their own because they might be from different friendship groups.
One has like one that's 2 seconds, one that's 10 minutes. Yeah.
Or like they overlap the same things. Like they're all saying thank you, and I just think just take a couple of hours to like get together and like make it work.
I think a lot of them at the weekend there was 2 best men, and they basically, and this happens quite a lot now, doesn't it? They wrote it together. So they basically sat down and like discussed all of their points, and instead of saying them separately, they said them in like an order, and they probably wrote it all on one sheet. Well, a few sheets because there's a few pages, but like there's my part, there's your part, there's your part, there's my part, and it makes it more of a feeling to the couple, doesn't it? That it's from their hearts, like
an ant and deck script.
Yeah,
you go first, I go second, bounce off one another,
and it's a bit of support when you're up there as well. Because I mean, I wouldn't want to stand up and speak in front of everybody. Like do in the wedding breakfast. So it's a bit of support,
Doesn't
isn't
sound like
it?
you'd ever will, Ben.
Anyway, no, but and speaking of groom speech as well, one of my favourites this year was we did a wedding. I think we actually might have mentioned his wedding on the. No, actually we didn't speak about him. But anyway, it was Charlotte and Jeremy at West Tower, and he was a
Shout out.
Shout out.
West Tower.
The groom.
Because it might be sound like the best man.
No, I said the groom.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, yeah. The groom speech, because he was a pilot. We were like, and he was how would you describe the man, just to like give people an idea of what type of person he was like? Very reserved,
Yeah, very reserved,
gentlemanlike.
yeah.
And he didn't look like he had a humorous bone in his body. And that's not a negative, by the way. That's more just like, he wasn't cracking jokes left, right and centre. He just presents himself very, he was like a well-groomed man. Someone I look up to, really. That's a joke. But yeah, he had this opening line, which obviously I wanted it. I was actually half like on the edge of the
We were like,
seat.
I really hope he makes some pilot jokes here or refers to something
And
about an airline.
The opening line was, "Good evening, this is your captain speaking." Straight off the bat,
Nice.
he had everyone on the fishing
good
line,
on him.
and
Yeah,
he
he
was
was
reeling them in.
brilliant.
And every line after it was just like, "The toilets to the left, no turbulence in this marriage." No, just every line. I should get it for next time and just read
Should
it
put
out.
it- yeah.
I think that because that'd be personal to him and them. And
Honestly,
like,
it was just so clever, and everyone at that point was just like, it was a pin drop and just laughter. It was just
Yeah,
him.
it
He
was
had
brilliant.
everyone in the palm of his hand eating out of it. And that actually half brings me on to your speech in a way, because with your speech, yours is very like, you know, you wrote a script down to a certain extent, and then it got to the last important part of your
Build
speech.
it up a little bit though first, because
I'll tell you exactly what
You
it
might
is
as
if
well,
you want.
it's his speech.
So build it up 'cause it was brilliant.
Didn't write anything anywhere leading up to the day itself, which some people might frown at and whatever, because no, you need to like play ahead and whatever like that. I didn't. I on the day went for a walk in like the grounds, let's just say that, and like voice noted to myself my feelings and thoughts about each individual person that I wanted to mention. And then what I mean by voice notes, it you can do some things on your phone, can you, where it like you speak and it like
Yeah.
texts it in.
dictaphone.
So it was basically like that, and then I just like rejigged it all really to create a speech, but it just as it flowed out of my mind, it was just onto the page type of thing.
I did not know you could do that, by the way, on your phone.
And I think most phones will have it. Like there's a little speech thing at the end of your, even if you look now on the end of your messages, there's a little microphone, and it allows you to talk to it and it texts it out. Anyway,
Beth is a proper mum, by the way. So I
that's
didn't
what I
know
did.
you could get that.
I just thought about
my
every
flip
single
phone.
person who I wanted to thank, and then I just did that. But maybe for good reason, I don't know. But by the time it got to like Becky's part, which is obviously the most important person, which you leave to last typically, little shout out there for all the budding grooms, leave your bride to last. I didn't have, in my opinion, enough time to think about it, write it out, whatever sounded out. So I left it to as I felt at the table at that time, and I announced it in that way. You were there, you know, you recorded it.
It was smooth.
And it was just everything that I couldn't have said or shouldn't have said or wouldn't have said. It was just the pure authenticity of it. By that point, it obviously had a couple of tears in my eyes, as you just know. And it just put me in a place of like complete truth. And it just came out like that.
It was very heartfelt, and you couldn't
Yeah.
have said it better, really.
And it was unexpected because obviously you said so many lovely things about everyone else, and then you went,
Sounded very scripted.
yeah, and then it was like, obviously Becky's next, but I didn't have time to write anything about her, so everyone thought, oh god, this is gonna like go down,
Short.
and it was just beautiful.
Love
It
you,
really
babe.
was.
Cheers.
She's all right, isn't she? Yeah.
Okay, so our third and final question is it acceptable to post photos on the wedding day
On social media,
on
story
social media?
of who?
It doesn't specify.
That's a tough one, because I've seen it recently. A supplier, and that this is one for us really. A supplier was videoing this on the story, the singing waiters, and all the guests dancing. And I think that's a fine line really for me. But if it was my wedding day, I don't think it'd bother me as much, because I think everyone who's there, I want to be there, sort of thing. And we might be in the background. I just think it's a preference thing, innit, really, on the couple. And I think you should always, you know.
I just think it wouldn't hurt for you to wait till the bride and groom have posted, because most of the time that is what they would want. You know, they've spent a lot of money on the wedding, they've kept this dress or the outfit's a secret for so long, and they want to do a big reveal online, and everything is about social media nowadays, sadly.
Sadly.
And I just think it wouldn't kill you to wait another day just to be respectful.
Yeah, I think the same really when it comes to couple, especially. You know, your cousin can't just post a photograph of you and her half bladdered at the end of the night on a story.
You see it all the time, don't you?
And you just think to yourself, like, that's the first image anyone's gonna see of her in her dress.
Well,
Like,
we say that in our consultations, don't we? We say, like, the reason why we do next day teasers, both of us, which a lot of people don't, is because we want that first time that you announce to the world that you've got married to be the best possible picture or video that you could have put out there, not off someone's iPhone or, like you say, someone's bladdered cousin or whatever like that.
shout out to all the bladdered cousins.
Not necessary. At the same time, I'm just going to say something that might rub some people the wrong way.
Oh.
Which is, I wouldn't say I don't like it, because obviously it's up to you what you do, but I do not like it when a bride or a groom will reshare what the bladdered cousin has posted on their social media, on their posts, before they've put our stuff on, knowing that we've already delivered it, and then they use someone else's iPhone picture first.
I think for me, that's again really like, it's a preference thing. I know if me and you ever got married, when we ever get married,
that line again.
I feel like I would definitely wait for the professional images, and
then I agree with you, but I don't know if that's just because we're in this industry. Whereas obviously those people that do post their images may want an image of the full dress head to toe, or like this certain angle, this certain location, which obviously our quick preview shot, we've just give you a handful of images.
We seen the other day at Claire and Darren's wedding day where they were just about to tuck into their food, I'm not messing, and she put a post up of it, her and Darren behind the table, like a selfie, and I think
I've seen that,
and that's just like that was their decision. Do you know what I mean? Like, they just wanted to say, you know what, it's done now. Everyone else can just post what they want, and I think again that's a preference thing.
I used to. I don't know if it was when I was with you or not, but I used to. In that like moment where everyone's having their meal, shall we say, and we get off and have our own little break and our own meals, whatever, I used to, at that time, try and edit up a couple of photos and send them to the bride and groom whilst they're dining, so that if they did want to put something out there at that point, even before the day is even over, they can do. But it didn't always go down well, because either most brides don't have the phone on them for a start, do they? Like, they just get rid of it in the morning time because everyone that they know is there typically. But also they didn't, and then just waited till the next day anyway, so I kind of stopped doing it. If people wanted that, I would still do that, but I mean...
I seen Ad and Joe Roberts do it at Jodie and Yolanda's wedding day.
Shout out Ad and Joe Roberts.
He's boss photographer and brilliant to work with. And on the day of Formby, he said to us, watch this, which was quite cool because I've never seen it before from that point of view. And he went, I'm going to send it now. Sorry, I'm going to send it to the bride and the bride now. Obviously watched their reactions. We stood there and seen them open it, because he must have said to them, I'm going to send you something through now, open it so we can see your reactions. And then the minute that they received it, they must have obviously shared it on social media, and everyone on each table was on the phone just like, oh my god, all buzzing with it.
But I'm going with that reaction tomorrow. We got a wedding tomorrow, haven't we?
Wedding tomorrow, so yeah, we'll
but then also isn't
Poppy,
that sad? It's like their wedding day, and like it's all about social media and posting. I get it, because it's like you want to share it with people that can't attend the wedding, but then I'm like, just be present and just enjoy your wedding day.
I know. I guess that's why, and people say it in, like, the registrars say it, don't they, most of the time now, they want an unplugged ceremony, they want an unplugged day, so get all the pictures that you can, because obviously that's the whole idea, isn't it? All of the memories you can possibly gather, but wait until the next day. But it is all about...
Listen, you're the one who wants to put your Christmas tree up in November, just wait.
One more, actually,
Oh, yeah.
I've actually got another flip to this, is of your brother's wedding, obviously Jane Kirsty's wedding. One of her favourite pictures was one that a guest had taken.
And that's
and that's why they should be allowed to take pictures as well. So, we've got like...
It's a preference. It always is a preference for me, and that's what it comes down to.
So yeah, obviously, like always, we're just dead thankful if you've got this far and listened to the podcast. Obviously, episode 5, we're getting there now. We are sensing a bit of a structure, and we are learning week by week. We are just people first and podcast host second. That's I'll change the phrase there. But yeah, we just want to thank everyone for listening, and continue to listen and continue to share and answer the questions and send in your questions. Next week, we are hoping to have a guest on. We've got a couple of people who we're trying to kind of get over the line. But at the same time, at the end of episode 4, we did put a little poll out of who you would want that to be. So if you could just let us know, that'd be great. Yeah. Do you want to say you usually sign off by going, peace, don't you?
not this week. John Lennon's over there, though.
We're going home to put the Christmas tree up anyway, so... Bye.
Oh.